sketch for you from Scrapbook Generation, and I'm going to change this sketch up a little bit, but definitely the right side falls in more than the left side of the sketch. I decided to use this collection from Photoplay, and if you remember, this was one of the collections that I purchased to kind of build up my beach section of my paper collection, since I don't have quite a bit of it. And I am loving all of these photos, but they are definitely more geared towards like up north type beaches than down here. But I decided that I was going to make it work. I really love that 4x6 card on the left-hand side that I decided to use with the waves and the little whale tail, but I do decide to put my title on it, which makes it even better. So at first I was just going to use 2 photos on the right, and then I thought, well, maybe I can add 2 additional cards. But then I realized that the 2 cards side by side both had whale tails on them, and it just didn't seem to fit. And I was like, might as well add a 3rd photo. So the 3 photos on the left are of my nephew Malachi when he was visiting last summer. And those photos are very far away. So I like the fact that I was able to use multiple photos of that. And then the 2 photos on the right is a selfie of myself with Eli, and then a photo of himself showing us a very tiny shell that he found. And those photos are a lot closer up, so they're larger, and it just really offsets the smaller photos on the left-hand side. So I pulled out this wood grain paper that I am loving. I love the like reds and blues that are in it, and it really goes with this collection. This is actually a wood grain that is with this collection, but I have like 10 sheets of it because I love that wood grain. And so I went ahead and added the stripe paper because it has all of the colors in the wood grain as well. But then I felt like there was just way too much white space. At first I thought I would just back my white paper with the blue, so I went ahead and gutted the blue paper and added a border around my layout. And I'm not sure why my camera is coming in and out like that, so hopefully it doesn't do that very long. But then I felt like there was still a lot of white space. So I went ahead and used the blue piece that I gutted from the middle of the paper and added that behind the wood grain and the photos. And I love the way that came out. There was just enough white space around my layout to make it look okay. So now I'm just adding the pieces back in, making sure that they all fit. And then I'm going to distress all of the edges of my cards as well as my paper with, I believe that is Faded Jeans, that navy blue from Tim Holtz, which is one of my favorite colors. So after I do that, I go ahead and adhere all of my pieces down. So like I was saying before, this is when Malachi was visiting last summer. We always do a trip with him when he visits. He visits us for the entire summer. He's usually here from anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks. This summer he is here with us for 8 weeks, so we're doing lots of adventures while he is here. And for this particular adventure, we went over to the Gulf Coast, which is not a beach that we tend to go to a lot. And this year, unfortunately, there are some things going on that are just not okay over there. The red tide is really, really bad this year. So while we have gone over and checked out the water, we are definitely not swimming in that water because it's unfortunate that we have that red tide this year. But anyway, so we went over there last year. We spent the weekend. We rented a little Airbnb. It was a little 2-bedroom apartment, and it was gorgeous. The area had a pool, and then we were just walking distance from the beach. So it was a nice little getaway for us. So we got there before my mom and the foster kids and the boys' mom got there. So we decided to take a beach day, just the 3 of us, until they got there. I think I've mentioned this before. I just don't have a lot of beach things, like embellishments and things like that. So I am like going through all of my collections, my previous collections, some of my collections that are just very small, maybe just the stickers are left and things like that, and pulling out what I can. So I did pull out a little tag that says live in the water, which I think is perfect because all 3 of us are definitely water babies. Even as an adult, I am a water baby. I could spend all day in any type of water. And then I added just a little tiny fish over there as well. Then down at the bottom of the right side of the layout, I went ahead and added, it's a big blue world. And I believe I cut that out from one of the cards. and I just love the way that that looks. And then I also added a little heart over there. And then on the left hand side, I decided to add like a fish, which I think is perfect, again, because we are definitely like fish because we love the water. I did have this little circle that says ocean in white, and it's just repeated multiple times, and I love the way that that looks right next to that cluster. And then I went ahead and pulled out my tiny phrases, and there was one that says live in the moment, so I went ahead and added that to the top with a little heart as well. Then I found these die cuts that I have, and I believe this is from Bella Boulevard, and I realized that they had all of these little creatures on them from the sea. So there's like an octopus and stingray and some couple fish. So I decided to add a strip of them on the left hand side and then just add another little fish on the right hand side. I did go ahead and pop up that octopus so that I could have him kind of floating over that circle sticker that says ocean. And then I also added fun foam to the stingray and that red fish, and then that little gray fish, he is flat down to the layout. So once I get all of that fun foam down, I do decide to go ahead and put some fun foam on the right hand side of the layout as well with that little fish, and I kind of move my heart over a little bit so that I can make him fit okay over there. My title is going to just be Indian Shores Beach because that's where we were, and like I said, I put it on that 4x6 card, and I just love the way that it pops, because what I decided to do was use the white, and that just stood out so well. And then I was going to use these stickers there with the blue. They just blended in way too much, and I think they were a little too large. So I pulled out my Color Vibe stickers and added those right underneath Indian Shore. I just used the word beach there. I did have to use some liquid glue, and I used my little poker tool to get the extra glue off, just so that it wouldn't stand out. On the very far left hand side in that white space there, I went ahead and just added my journaling directly to the layout. I felt like with the animals on the left, the journaling could just fit right there, and it worked out perfectly. So here is my final layout, as well as some close-ups, and hopefully I will get back into some type of routine very soon. If you enjoyed this video, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already and you want to see more double page layout inspiration, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thanks everyone for watching, and I hope that you have a scrappy day.